If you wanted to applause, you can do that. That being said, our moderator from Tampa Bay Times is none other than CT Bowen. I'm turning it over to you. Here you go.
I think we're getting punchy. Okay. Opening statements are 3 minutes. Tammy Garcia.
Well, hi there. My name's Tammy Garcia, running for House District 37. I am a mother, I am a trained mediator, and I'm a Florida native. And I'm running because it's about time that we elect people to Tallahassee that actually care about the people of Florida and not the special interests and corporations that have been running our state. And I go out and knock on doors, make phone calls to voters day in and day out. And there are a lot of issues that I hear that keep coming up amongst voter after voter. We need to work to improve our education system. We need to better pay our teachers. We have a massive teacher shortage in Pasco County and throughout the state. Our K-12 education ranks 40th in the country. That's not okay. We're testing our kids to where they have anxiety attacks, they get depressed, and our teachers are the same way. We need to do better. We need to work to protect our environment. We're the Sunshine State. Let's make that mean something. Invest in renewable energy. I've heard from a lot of people, commercial fishermen, people who have businesses on the water, and red tide is a huge issue to our economy right now. We need to actually invest in fixing the problem and addressing it so that it doesn't happen again. We rely on tourism in Florida. If we're not doing more to protect our environment, we will lose a lot in the future. You know, Pasco has had an incredible amount of growth, which is great. You know, we love that people want to move here. We love that businesses come in. We love this. It's great. But we still have a massive amount of people that leave our county every single day because we're not providing the jobs that we should so that they can live and work here. We need to invest in bringing those businesses to our county. You know, as a lifetime member of Girl Scouts, I was always taught to leave a place better than when I found it. And that's exactly the principle that's guided my entire life. And that's what I plan to do in Tallahassee. I have a beautiful 2-year-old little boy, crazy, just ball of energy, and he's the light of my life. And it's for him and all of our future generations that are really inspiring me. We need to do more and to be better for them so that they have a better Florida. You know, Florida's great. It's fantastic. Like I said, I was born and raised here. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be afraid to make progress and make changes in order to improve the state. And I'm going to take a little quick second just to say I have been battling a sinus infection for a month, so if I'm going to start coughing or sneezing or anything, please just forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you to each one of you, and I want to take this opportunity to just honor our law enforcement, our veterans, our men and women in uniform, and just thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Bowen, and the members of the chamber. My name is Ardian Zika, and my story began 21 years ago. On June 12th of 1987, there was a great American president by the name of Ronald Reagan. And on that day, he sent a powerful message to the Soviet Union: tear down this wall, a wall that divided Europe between light and darkness, a wall that divided Europe between the humanity that just wanted freedom, that believed that freedom came from God, not government. My American journey began in '97, came to the shores of America as a young teenager, hungry for hope and thirsty for a better tomorrow. And America quenched the thirst and satisfied that hunger. My story is our story. My story may be your story. It may be your grandparents' story. They came to the shores of this nation for a better life. A few centuries ago, the first wave of European refugees came to our shores, escaping religious persecution. And centuries later, the same idea that made America strong remains true today. That each one of us is created unique and special. I came to this nation, and today I call myself a proud American. So I want to take this moment and thank each one of you for blessing me with the gift of a lifetime, the gift of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I am a father of 5 beautiful children: Natalie, Riley, Jed, Zachary, and William, under the age of 11, so we stay pretty busy. Married to Tasha for over 12 years, a small business owner. Pasco is home to me. We have a small little house in Land O'Lakes. Went to St. Leo University to receive my master's degree there, my undergraduate from Louisiana Tech University, and I completed my high school in Louisiana. Yep, that's where I learned the English. And it was an awesome place to start a whole new home. But I'm running for office because I want to ensure that each Floridian that wants to reach the American dream are not left behind. This campaign is about putting Floridians first, and I will tirelessly fight in Tallahassee that each one of us will have that opportunity to succeed. Thank you so much for this opportunity tonight, and I look forward to continue the conversation. Thank you.
To Tammy Garcia. Do you favor any changes to the current Stand Your Ground law? And do you believe it was appropriate for the legislature to amend the law so that the burden of proof now falls to prosecutors rather than defendants to prove they had no alternative but to engage in gunfire?
You know, the purpose behind the Stand Your Ground was to ensure safety, so that you could feel safe walking the streets, and if somebody attacked you, you could defend yourself. But that's not how the law has been implemented. We have seen people who were clearly intending to murder someone get away with it. No, placing the burden on the on the prosecution to defend this when the person is deceased. How can they defend themselves? They don't have that voice anymore. You know, we have self-defense laws. Are they great? You know, they could use some work. But Stand Your Ground, as it's being utilized today, is absolutely not the right answer. And we have seen that time and time again. We should feel safe. We should feel secure. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to the Second Amendment, because I'm not. But the way that this is occurring, innocent people are getting shot and the murderers are going free. Something needs to change.
1 minute.
Thank you. I do support that each one of us have a constitutional right to defend ourselves from criminals. As a father of 5 kids, it's my responsibility to protect my children from criminals. Each law-abiding citizen should have a right to defend themselves. I do support the Second Amendment. I took the oath in January of 2009 to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and I will defend our right to defend ourselves and our families from crime and criminals.
30 seconds. You good? Okay. This is why I get ahead of schedule. Mr. Zika. Voters in 10 school districts have agreed to pay higher property taxes in order to finance better wages for teachers' salaries and to enhance school security, or enhance school security. In light of that, if you're elected, would you take the lead and see that the legislature does likewise? Would you advocate a higher property tax set by the legislature in Tallahassee to better compensate teachers?
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. We recently celebrated, as a state, $1 trillion plus economy. Something we should be very, very proud as a state. We have to grow our economy. As we grow our economy, we will have additional revenue to provide additional funding for our schools and our teachers. 2018-2019 budget, I just took some notes there, our budget was over $89 billion. And out of that, we have a substantial amount of that allocation for education. But when we grow our economy, there's going to be a substantial amount of funding available for education. But I'd like to also address the comment about wages. W-2 is the single most expensive way to get compensated. And there are other ways that we can work with the state legislature to help our teachers create wealth. My 5W economic plan that I have been talking to the community over the last 13 months is from going from welfare to work, from work to wages, from wages to wealth, and from wealth to winning. The challenge that we're having is going from wages to wealth. The cost of living has gone so high, by the time you pay your health insurance premium, your deductible, your copay, your over-the-counter healthcare expenses, transportation there's no money left for anything else. I got 5 children. I got to tell you, money becomes tight. So we have to grow our economy. There are other non-W-2 ways to help our teachers create additional income. So, and those are the things I look forward to bring to Tallahassee. There'll be Floridians first policies, and I'll tirelessly fight to do that.
1 minute.
Now, if I understand, your question was, would I, approve of the legislator increasing the taxes for teachers, correct? Okay. That's something that our teachers need to be paid more. Our schools need more funds. I don't necessarily think that creating a statewide tax is the best idea, but there are funds that can be reappropriated in our current budget so that we can pay our teachers better. We can move more funds to our education system. There are things that can be done that should be done before we even consider taxing our individual citizens.
No further comment.
Relevant question. Do you support the constitutional amendment proposal that's to require a 2/3 majority in the legislature to raise taxes? And if so, would you advocate the same 2/3 supermajority for lowering taxes?
I do not agree with that. And the reason is because we have seen so much partisan politics that a 2/3 majority is just not likely to happen. And there are times where we may have disaster after disaster after disaster where we have no other way to fund it without raising our taxes. Again, I have just already said that we need to look elsewhere. We need to look at reappropriating, find ways that we can move money to where we need it. But if push comes to shove and we need to recover from, let's say we have another year like 2005 with multiple hurricanes hitting Florida, we need to know that we can rebuild, that we have the means to do so.
I believe that's Amendment 5, and I do support a supermajority to raise taxes. On the flip side of it, I don't support a supermajority to lower taxes. American families at the present time, we are burdened with debt. Student loan debt, mortgage debt, consumer debt. The cost of living has gone up. We got to grow our economy. When we grow our economy, wages will go up. Pasco County, I've been looking at the economic data. Pasco County, it's not recession-proof. We need higher-paying jobs in this county. And when we get higher-paying jobs, there's surplus discretionary income available so people can spend more money on buying a bigger home and buying other things that will activate the economy. So we got to grow the economy. And we got to start here in Pasco County. I think my time is up.
All right, follow up then. How do you grow the economy in Pasco County if you're stationed in Tallahassee?
Thank you. I truly believe when you look at Pasco County, if you look at the industries, because there are two types of sectors, to summarize it, you have what we call high volume, low margin jobs, high margin, low volume jobs. And what we need to do in Pasco County, we have to bring high margin, low volume jobs. And one of the things that I've shared in the campaign trail was cybersecurity jobs. And the cybersecurity jobs, right now, you will find yourself getting hacked, coming out of a hacking experience, or getting ready to get hacked. Each company is struggling with cybersecurity issues. It's going to be our next threat, and I think Pasco County can become the hub to bring those jobs. We have the infrastructure. We don't require heavy commercial, industrial for cybersecurity jobs. Hillsborough is doing a good job, And I truly think we can do a public-private partnership in going to bring those jobs over without making what I call a corporate welfare investment with those companies. I think we got a Pasco State College in our community. We got St. Leo in our community. We have, I mean, we are like just north of the airport. I mean, there are so many different ways we can grow this economy, but I look forward to work with the community and our local leaders, but we got to go back to growing this economy, bringing higher paying jobs.
1 minute, and how would you bring higher paying jobs to Pasco County?
I think one of the things that we need to do is invest in our trades. Our trades, our construction workers, and industries such as that are higher paying jobs. And we can do that here. You know, we're bringing in trades to high schools, and that's fantastic. We need to do more of this. When we bring in those trades, we can get those better, higher paying jobs. If we bring in industrial complexes, we can bring in better, higher paying jobs. If all we're doing is building the retail and the restaurants, those are your lower wage jobs. That's great. Obviously, you know, we all want places to eat and shop, but if we can't afford it because we don't have better, higher paying jobs here, then it's all a waste and everything will close and our economy will crumble. We need to invest in doing things like the trades. You know, build more trade schools all across the county, not just in West Pasco.
No further comment.
Tammy Garcia, do you support or oppose the idea of accepting federal Medicaid expansion dollars?
I absolutely approve of expanding Medicaid and accepting those dollars. We have a lot of people in Florida, over 750,000 people that fall into this insurance gap. They make too much to qualify for Medicaid now, but they make too little to qualify for subsidies. They're stuck in a gap. They can't afford health care. These are the people that we need to be taking care of. These are the people that would be helped by expanding Medicaid. Other states that have done this have seen the benefits. They get jobs, so our healthcare can see more people. They need to hire more staff. They buy more medical equipment, so it boosts the economy. When we have individuals who need healthcare and aren't receiving it, they get the healthcare, now they become more productive citizens. They will add to the economy. You know, we should care for our fellow citizens. You know, this is what I am trying to instill in my son every day, is that we need to care for every single person. And expanding Medicaid and taking care of those who fall in this current gap right now makes sense. And the added economic benefits just really make it a no-brainer to me.
While I was in college, it's a personal life experience. I could not afford health insurance. And it feels like it was yesterday. I truly remember those ER visits without health insurance and getting the care and leaving the hospital with a prescription that I couldn't afford. And it's tough. I got health insurance for the first time when I was 22 years old. And so we have to incorporate healthcare innovation at a state level so we lower the cost of Medicare and the services. Also, grow the economy, so there's going to be more top-line money, because when there's revenue on the top, there's many more things we can do. So my time is up.
30 seconds if you care to comment.
Okay. I also was not able to obtain health care coverage when I had to drop from my parents' coverage. And for me, it was because of a pre-existing condition. It was because of migraines. That's it, just migraines. It wasn't until the Affordable Care Act passed that eliminated those pre-existing conditions that I was able to even get coverage. It wasn't even a matter of trying to afford it. I didn't even have that option. I wasn't offered it. We cannot let that happen. We should be taking care of our citizens and giving them health care.
Thank you. Mr. Zika, the Florida Chamber of Commerce endorsement of you in your primary campaign mentioned your support for school choice. It didn't define school choice, so I would ask you, what's your definition of school choice? Is it an expansion of vouchers, more charter schools that don't have to follow the same state regulations as traditional public schools, or making funding available so that traditional public schools can offer additional programming?
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Great question. Earlier, I shared my life story when I came to this nation. And I graduated from a public high school in Louisiana. I didn't speak any English. It was a public high school teacher in Louisiana that she believed in me. She said, "You're going to do just great." I didn't believe it. I remember my first spelling test came back. I know I submitted it all in blue ink. It came back in red. I wasn't sure what it was. But because of the public high school teacher, English teacher, I was able to learn the language, and I stand here today. I served on the Pasco Education Foundation Board of Directors to support our teachers and our public school students, served on the Pasco Hernando State College. When it comes to school choice, I've been traveling my district. A lot of minority communities and immigrant communities, we have to give our parents the choice so they can help their kids where they get their education, because education is the single most important toolbox that we leave our children with. Because we are currently living in a global economy. We're no longer competing at a local or state level. We're competing at a global level. The only thing you need is an internet connection, $13 to get a website, and you can compete for products and services at a global level. That's the reason it's so important that our parents have the choice with their children. And it's up to the parents.
Ms. Garcia, could you define school choice for me and whether you advocate it?
I think school choice is often referred to as being able to, use a voucher and go to a private school or go to a charter school. But there's more to it than that also. I went to a magnet school. It was a magnet public high school down in Tampa, Blake High School for the Performing Arts. I had that choice to go to the Performing Arts School or to go to the school that I was zoned to. The problem was that the school that I was zoned to, my parents didn't even give me that as an option because it was so bad. The reason why we feel like we have to have so many choices is because we're failing our public schools. When we start investing in them, you might not have to feel like you have to go to a different school across the county in order to receive the quality of education that we should be providing in each and every school.
You can have 30 seconds if you'd like.
No further comment. Thank you.
Similar topic, and I asked this of the school board candidates also. Should public schools districts share construction dollars with charter schools?
I think that when our charter schools are held to the exact same standards as our public schools, meaning they have to accept zone children, and they're held to all the same requirements, then we should be sharing our funds. But until that time, until they are held to the same standards, then no, I don't.
They are Pasco students. All our students are our students. And regardless the way they get the education, they're our students. We're one. And so if there's a charter school and they're complying with the laws and there is funding, they should share them because it's public school education. It's just a different route under that plan. So.
30 seconds.
And that's exactly one of the issues, is that our legislation hasn't made laws that require our charter schools to be more on par with our public schools. That is something that we need to do.
I know the district is bordered by Little Road on the west, although actually we're sitting in the district right now. But this is the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce. So I guess I would ask your question, I believe. What is it you can do for West Pasco in particular as it seeks to try to redevelop?
Can you repeat the last part? I'm sorry.
Oh, as West Pasco tries to redevelop. What can
Redevelop?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, the budget that we had, it was over $89 billion. And for higher education, we said $8 billion. I'm a huge supporter of increasing funding for higher education. I mean, I served on the Board of Trustees for the Pasco State College, and I truly believe this is a game changer for our community in West Pasco. If we can continue to provide 4-year degrees on this campus, degrees that can be monetized directly post-graduation here, the employers will come to West Pasco, Central Pasco, or East Pasco. And I truly think at the last session there were issues between the universities and the state colleges, and they were trying to change certain things. I'm a huge believer in state colleges. They're an agent change if we just provide the appropriate level of funding. And if we have the appropriate level of capital, human capital, that those jobs can match the needs of the economy, the employers will come. It's a good thing to have a high employment rate. Companies are having a difficult time to find talent. And if we're able to help our students get the right degrees, they will directly, quite frankly, be able to get placed with jobs. And part of my request, I will tirelessly fight in Tallahassee to increase funding for state colleges, is they will also reduce the student loan debt that our kids are having. I recently shared this a few weeks back, but it's over $1.5 trillion in student loan debt. I mean, it's out of control. I think we must make college education affordable again because our economy depends on it. And that's the reason I look forward to fight for that in Tallahassee. Thank you.
1 minute, what can you do to assist West Pasco's redevelopment?
No, when I've gone and talked to voters and I've heard them complain about everything flooding, when they brought me a glass of water that's yellow out of their tap water from FGUA, this is not going to encourage industries to come here. Until we fix these issues, they're going to be at a loss to East Pasco. We can't ignore West Pasco and the issues that we've allowed to grow and fester. We need to improve the infrastructure, and we need to address the water issues.
30 seconds.
On the water issues, Summer Tree community, I've been meeting with the members of the community, learning about the water issues there, and it is critical, and it's important that we have quality water for our residents, and that's part of my overall environmental policy platform. So thank you.
Those are your 30 seconds. Okay. I'm going to give you the same opportunity I gave the congressional candidates. Tammy Garcia, what is the one question you'd like to ask your opponent this evening and have him answer here in this public forum? And you'll get the same question.
Let's see, there's so many things. I guess as a voter and as a resident who, if you were to win, I would be your constituent, I would like to know specific policies, what you would do to encourage solar development in the states.
Thank you, Tammy. I do believe that one of the blessings of Florida is sun, and we have to spend more resources and more investments in renewable energy. It's cleaner. I oppose offshore drilling and fracking. We want to keep Florida beautiful. And so I look forward to bring those innovative discussions in Tallahassee and just encourage the state legislature to really just utilize the things that we have, the sun. So that's, and I look forward, either way, we can serve each other, so it'll be fun.
Mr. Zika, your question?
Tammy, obviously, if you become my state representative, I live in your district. And so what would you do on a higher education side of it?
Our education is not affordable. When I was having an interview the other day, somebody had done a background check and said, hey, why are there multiple names on your mortgage? I said, well, it's because my parents had to co-sign my home loan because I have too much student debt, and because of my husband's bankruptcy from having cancer and undergoing chemo, that I couldn't afford it. There is no reason why our students who go and get degrees should be penalized. See, there's that sinus infection. Should be penalized in their future because they went to improve themselves. We need to make it more affordable.
Thank you. We're going to go right to closing statements here, and you have 2 minutes, Tammy Garcia.
Well, like I said earlier, I'm running because I want to improve the state of Florida. I am a trained mediator. My degrees are in conflict analysis and resolution. And what that means is that I can take a situation and an argument and hear past all the bickering, hear past the possible solutions to see the real root of the problem, to see the very cause. And when you can do that, you can start to have real conversations about how to come up with solutions that work for everyone. This is something that I can bring, that I can bring to Tallahassee that I haven't heard anyone else in the state of Florida be able to bring. We have so much partisan politics. That's not helping anyone. It hasn't been helping the Floridians in the past. If we continue this way, it will continue to not help. We need someone who can work past these solutions. Issues are not partisan. They're not. Every parent wants their child to get a good education. Everybody wants to walk in their neighborhood and feel safe and secure. These issues don't follow party lines. Solutions can, but when you start having conversations about the actual issues, that's when you can have real, nonpartisan solutions. And that's what I plan to bring to Tallahassee. Thank you.
2 minutes.
Thank you, and thank you, Tammy. And we must become united. And that's the only way we can become unstoppable. We must put people first ahead of politics. We must put purpose ahead of power. We are at an intersection in America today. We can do the things we have done like we did them yesterday. We can start a whole new beginning of leadership that puts people first. One of the reasons I've knocked on so many doors in the district is because I wanted to hear people's voices. Regardless if you're Republican or a Democrat or independent, we all want to do 3 things. Have a clothes on our back, a roof over our head, and a food on the table. And give our children and our grandchildren a better America that we found. I'm a product of America's exceptionalism. I will always defend America's greatness. We have come at a point in America where we're becoming so divided between naturally born Americans and naturalized Americans. We're all Americans under one republic, and that's the vision. That's the fight I'm looking forward to bring to Tallahassee and tell them we got to fight for the people. So my name is Ardian Zika, and I look forward to have your support. Thank you.
Thank you both.
All right, thank you. And we will have our next debate in about 7 to 10 minutes. Thank you.